There.
All right, who am I here with?
This is Mr. Clark at Portola Middle School in Orange, California.
All right, and I'll be interviewing you for some questions about your job. So, first question is going to be, what are your typical job responsibilities?
My typical job responsibilities, I'm a physical education teacher, 5 periods of the day, and I also teach 1 period of study skills with some of the students who are struggling. Typically, I show up to work at 6:30 in the morning. I set up stuff for the day. I plan for the day. School starts around 8 o'clock. We just like when you're in school, we take attendance, we lesson plan. I'm also the coach after school and the athletic director for the district.
Cool. All right, and then for second question, when and how did you decide on this career path? And did you always know this is what you were going to do?
Well, I always knew I loved sports, right? I played sports growing up. I knew I loved sports, but I did not know I wanted to be an actual teacher. I didn't really have that interest. I had a dream, everybody's dream, right? I'm going to play shortstop for the Angels, or I'm going to do something different. But my middle school PE teacher actually had a big influence on my life. I could have gone either way, struggling, hanging out with the wrong crowd, and he kind of took me under his wing and showed me the way. So that's pretty much what I'm doing, trying to give back to these students the same way he gave back to me and put me on the right path.
Cool. All right, and then the third one, what education did you need for this job?
Well, I needed a college degree, a bachelor's degree in kinesiology. I received that through Cal State Fullerton. I got my teaching credential because I had to do another year teaching credential, and that was at National University. And I also got a master's in middle school education. The master's isn't necessary, but to go up the pay scale, continuing your education is the way to go. Higher pay.
All right. And what is your favorite part of your career, and what is the worst?
My favorite part is just every day it's something new. It's a challenge. These kids are really struggling right now, not just physically, but they're also struggling mentally. So the challenge is just be there for these kids, build relationships for these kids, and make this the best 8 hours of their day. Because some of these kids go home, most of these kids go home to not any structure. They're living with multiple families, so they love to be here at school. So pretty much the best part of my job is just providing a safe atmosphere for those kids. What was the second part?
Oh, what is the worst part of your...
I don't know. The worst part of I don't really see any worst parts. There's challenges, but I wouldn't say worst parts. Challenges right now are just kids were out of school for 2 years. Some of these kids came back not knowing how to behave in a school setting. So it's a challenge, but it's not worse. You just take on that challenge and you just adjust, and it's been good. I mean, it's slowly starting to get back to normal.
Then how do you see your field/job changing or evolving in the next 10 years?
Well, I would say it's already started to evolve through like social and emotional learning, right? Here at middle school, before the pandemic and stuff, you really just had to concentrate on teaching physical education, right? Getting these kids out, keeping them active. But now there's so much more to this, right? Kids are having all kinds of problems, need all kinds of help. It's pretty much being a coach, a parent, a counselor, just everything wrapped up all in one as a teacher. Actually, there's just so much more on the plate than just teaching directly to students. You're trying to build these relationships so these kids have something positive to come into. But I would say the social emotional aspect and the technology aspect is a huge thing these days, and even in physical education.
All right, definitely. And then the last question is, what advice would you give to someone pursuing this career?
I would say go get into this field, especially if a lot of people get into teaching because you had a teacher that affected your life, right? That's why you get into teaching, because you sit back and you're not getting into teaching for the money. I mean, down the road, sure, it might be good money, but you're getting into teaching because some teacher's done something for you. You want to work with kids and have a positive effect on people's lives. And that's what teaching does. Puts you in a safe environment to be able to affect the future of these students. You may, as a middle school teacher, you may not see it in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but when people come back 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, like to interview you or do you see them in their careers, that's when it's most beneficial. At the middle school level, you don't see like, oh, thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
You know, down the road, you see, hey, thanks, you really made an impact on my life. Now I'm doing this. So that's what I would say.
All right, perfect. All right, well, I appreciate it, Mr. Clark.
Oh, for
Thank you
sure.
so much.
Thank you.